We are going to go to a interview with Tim McWilson, who is putting together a really special youth football camp for the second year in a row, hosted by Austintown Fitch at Greenwood Chevrolet Field. Tim, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Hey, yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You got it. And before we talk about this year's second annual Steel Valley Youth Football Camp, I want to talk about kind of last year and having the first one, and what were some of the things that put this ball in motion and made you want to start this camp and made it so important to you to get it going.
Well, let me tell you, pre-COVID, I'm gonna say around 2017, 2018, me and two of my best friends, Scott Ivy and Ellis Sullivan, do our normal guide trip, and we're in Florida. And I was just talking. Well, I was thinking about it already. The good Lord put it on my mind to try to give back to where I played my ball at. You know what I mean? And being a Youngstown kid, and so I shared with them back in 2017, 2018, and then we talked about it for another year, and then COVID hit, and then of course that put everything in a bag. So things got going. Coach Parker, who I got mad respect for, mad love, man. He was down with it, and like I said, Scott Ivy and Ellis Sullivan really helped me a lot, man. And as far as getting things prepared, as far as putting it out there, promoting a little bit, and so that's how I kind of got that started. Now, as far as how the camp went last year, it went well. I was nervous as all get up, all that good stuff, but we had a great time. Had a real good time.
You had a great turnout last year. It was so good that obviously this year was a no-brainer, putting together the second annual Steel Valley Youth Football Camp. When you looked at the numbers that you were able to get last year and the kids that were able to come and learn from the coaches that you were able to put together, what was that feeling like, seeing the success that last year's camp was able to bring?
Oh man, it was beautiful. I'll be honest. It was beautiful. Watching the young guys going up and down the field, being coached up, being taught, and the guys who did the coaching are former players that I coached back in high school and college and whatnot, and they did a great job. They were enthusiastic. They enjoyed it, teaching, coaching, and all that. So, just to answer the question, as for me, just sitting back, watching everything unfold, and talking with Coach Parker and whatnot, man, this is a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Every year, we're going to try to, Lord willing, keep coming back to Fitch High School and knocking it out.
You're a 1984 Fitch grad. Like you said, this is where you played your football as a kid. You could have had this camp in a lot of different places. What made Austintown Fitch home to you and made it so special that you wanted to make sure that you poured back into Youngstown football with this youth camp?
Oh, I'm a Falcon, man. I'm a Falcon at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Playing for Coach Hartman, who's like a dad to me. Coach Sapp, who was our O-line coach and D coordinator and all that. And, the bonds I made and the friendships I made, it was beautiful, man. And so, giving back to Fitch High School, who did so much for me, it's a no-brainer, no doubt. And, it'll be there every year. As long as I'm living, it'll be there every year, man, no doubt.
One of the really cool things last year and this year, not only are you going to have your guest coaches come and help out with the kids, but also Fitch players and Fitch coaching, members of the Fitch coaching staff will be there to help you out. How cool is that to see the current members of the Fitch football team pour into what could be the future of Austintown Fitch football?
Oh man, it's a family thing over there. You know what I mean? From what I remember back in the '80s, playing with with great guys like Steve Conover, Todd Powers, and Mark Zocco, and so on and so forth, and even to where Coach Parker has it. It's a family thing, man, and we all come together as one, and we work together, and we look out for each other. So it's all that, no doubt.
Second annual camp is right around the corner. Why don't you tell us about some of the things that have grown in this year from last year, and some of the things that you're looking to do better this year, this camp?
Say that one more time. I'm outside of my patio, man. Somebody was riding up the street with a motorcycle. I'm
You're all
sorry.
good. Like, we're going into the second annual youth camp in a couple of weeks, actually, a week from Saturday. So I'm wondering, what are some things that you're looking forward to this camp being like better and being grown in from last year's camp?
Well, you know what? Even though last year, it, I thought we did a pretty good job. I think even this year, uh, with the preparation for everybody, everyone's being more prepared. The Zoom meeting that I had with all my players and coaches and whatnot, we feel like this year we're definitely more prepared and to teach the kids, show the kids, and also add a couple of little different twists to what we did last year.
Let's go through the people that are going to make this camp special. Who are the coaches and the people that are coming to help you out that are going to make this year's camp really work the way it's going to?
Um, First of all, man, the guys who I coached at Capital, a few players, Dave Gronkowski, who was an All-American receiver at Capital, Evan Butler, who was All-Conference running back in 2018, 2019, Mike Clark, DB, and Jason Elside was quarterback DB. Also, we got a couple young men from Pitt Panthers play that Pitt. I'm sorry. Devin Edwards played tight end, DN from 13 to 17 at Pitt. Tony Harper as well played tight end at Pitt. We got a few men from Ashland University, Terrell Hudson, Davion Barrow, and we got Beanie Wells, who's coming to speak to the group of kids. So, looking forward to it, man. And next year, Lord willing, we're going to try to make it bigger and better.
Yeah, Beanie Wells is obviously the big name that's drawn a lot of people to this event, and he's going to be there to speak to all the kids. And what was that like to be able to get him down to Austin Town, such an Ohio football legend, had a great career at Ohio State, went to the NFL. What was it like to be able to get him to come into the Youngstown area and speak to the youth of Youngstown football?
Well, me and Beanie became pretty good friends about right before he went to the draft. Coach Tressel was recruiting one of our players over at Eastmore Academy, Ron Tanner, and I met Beanie through the recruitment, and so we became good friends throughout. We see each other, laugh a little bit, joke, and so last year, me and him was rapping and talking and whatnot, and so he was like, Mac, just tell me when. So as we was preparing for this camp, man, and I called him up, he said, man, I'm there. And so I'm very excited. I'm sure everyone else is. Beanie's a good friend, but he's a good guy who knows sports, knows life, and can definitely help and teach teach our young kids a lot.
That story is a reminder of how much of a brotherhood the sport of football is. I mean, whether you're playing with the player or whether you meet them coaching, it's just this brotherhood that you get that you can't really share with anybody else on a football field. What's it been like for you throughout your playing career, throughout your coaching career, to build in this football community and to be able to have so many brothers with you in the sport of football?
I tell you, uh, from playing the game from Little League, playing with the Buckeye Elks in '75 to Fitch in '84 to YSU, I've met so many uh, brothers in Christ, and brothers in the football field, man. And our bond has just gotten stronger and stronger. Uh, we talk, we laugh, and even if we don't talk for about 2 or 3 months, man, we come together and it's like we didn't miss a beat. And so I've carried that over, like even in my coaching and coaching the young men that I've had the pleasure of coaching, from Devin Edwards, Ron Tanner, Isaiah P. Over at Columbus Eastmore, the young men over at Capital that I mentioned earlier, and and so many others, man. And it's like a bond. Like now, here I am, an old guy. So, like my players, I guess I'm like a dad or an uncle. You know what I mean? And so we get together, we laugh, have a little ice water and maybe some wings or something, and we get down like that, man. But it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a blessing from above, no doubt.
What are some Fitch football memories that you still are in your head from when you played for Fitch back in the 80s?
Beating Mooney in 1982 for the Steel Valley Championship, man, down at YSU. Beating them. We haven't beaten them in years. So knocking off, John Klein and Devlin Culliver and them guys, man. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, man. So beating Mooney will always be something that I will always, carry.
I don't know if kids in this day kind of understand like the monster that Mooney was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So I mean, beating them, anyone that gets to beat them probably is going to be a memory that they
Yeah.
cherish for a long time. I know my dad was a Mooney grad back in the 70s, and
Uh-huh.
he was on a freshman team that went undefeated and unscored upon. That just tells you how much they were just a powerhouse back in the day. But yeah, like you said, anytime you get to beat Mooney, you're gonna remember
Yeah.
that forever. Football has changed a little bit since the 80s, obviously it fits. When
Yes.
you watch this team, what are some things that are so special about watching what Coach Parker has done with the current Falcons that are on the roster?
Well, now you going back in the 80s, man, we ran the wing T. So, it was, ground and pound. Whereas Coach, and I'm not saying that we didn't have great athletes on that team. When I look at the guys I played with in the backfield, Greg Guerrero, Todd Powers, Tudor Lambie, Mike Ular, who went to Penn State, Randy Horvath, Jimmy Roberts, Jerry Bailey, Tim Schaefer. So them guys were like strong and had some good speed. Whereas this team right here, like what I see with Coach P, man, he got athletes all across the board and he got juice, man, so mad respect and mad love, you know what I mean? But, the game has changed where before clogged in to where now it's spread out and you want to get your guys out in space. Coach Hartman had us closed in a little bit, which is no knock on Coach. I love him. But, we make a cut and then we get in space. You know what I mean? So like that there. But no, but Coach Parker's doing a wonderful job, man. And I like it. Like it.
He has a lot of good running backs, and I'm sure it still makes your heart happy when he's able to, call a physical run play that goes right up the line and lets
Yeah.
those running backs that are big and powerful that he has work. I'm sure it still makes your heart a little bit happy when you're able to see
Yeah.
that come out of Austintown Fitch.
Yes, sir.
All right, so before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to kind of promote this camp, and if people out there listening still want to register for it, still want to get out there and be a part of it, what will they do? Give kind of the information about it, the time, the dates, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so of course the camp is July 8th, 2023 at Fitch High School Stadium or Greenwood Stadium. I'm sorry, and 8 o'clock is registration if you come up that Saturday morning. You can go on to the website. I want to say it's at Fitch Football, but if you want, you can come and pay the day of. And if we run out of shirts, don't worry about it. Hey, just give us your name and address, and we will definitely mail you one. Now, as far as coming, man, look, I pray that the parents bring their kids out. We're going to have a good time, man. Great teaching, great coaching, great camaraderie. We feed you a little bit afterwards, the water and Gatorade to keep you hydrated. And at the end of the day, man, Benny Wells. At the end of the day, be Wells, baby. Be Wells. And, I would always say, the Steel Valley Youth Football Camp is something that I took upon because that's where I'm from. And that's the conference that, we played in throughout the whole Youngstown area, no matter where you're at. That's the Steel Valley, and that's what we're known for, the Steel Valley. And the guys who I have coaching and teaching, man, they're hard-nosed, They know the game. They play the game at a high level, whether it's Division 1, 2, or 3, and they're going to definitely help and teach your kid the proper way to play the game of football.
For just $20 per camper, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better value in a football camp
Amen.
than next Saturday at 8 a.m. in registration for the Steel Valley Youth Football Camp at Greenwood Field at Austintown Fitch. Tim, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and talk about it, talk about your days at Fitch as well. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck this year, and we look forward to seeing you host this camp for years to come.
Hey, thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.